Hey everyone, welcome back to Obscurus Lupa Presents. Ready for a spooky Halloween movie? Well, too bad, this is Vampire Cop. I realize there's a South Korean movie called Vampire Cop Ricky, and if you thought that was what you were in for today, you probably haven't watched my show much. This is Vampire Cop from 1990, and it pretty much sold me with its fantastic cover. I can't beat that, ever. They took their tagline from Scruff McGruff. If you're gonna call your film Vampire Cop, you sure as hell better have this cover and that tagline, because that's all I'm accepting. Anyway, the director of this is currently making a movie called Shark Exorcist. Shark Exorcist. Name me your price and I'm pre-ordering that shit faster than you can say Ghost Shark 2. If you got that reference, congratulations! You're one of us now. Here's the plot. Vampire Cop is about a cop who's a vampire, and there's lots and lots of boobs. I think I've given away too many plot details now. But before we get into the review, I'd like to introduce a special guest. Since this is a vampire movie, I think we need an obligatory cameo from our favorite vampire reviewer. Say hello to Maven of the Eventide.
Good evening.
Thanks, Maven. So here's Vampire Cop.
What's going down? You feel the need to turn things around. Don't take chances, don't make any deals. Your life's on the line for the slow kill.
Best intro ever! Sure, it's basically 30 seconds of nothing, but you got the three elements that make up this picture. Cops, a vampire, and some boobs. I can tell you right now that only one of these elements is really relevant to anything, and it's neither of the title words. I'm not sure how this woman can sleep with all those clubbers in her basement, though. And falling asleep with the candles lit? That's a fire hazard, lady. I will say this for Vampire Cop, though. He has some pretty sweet boots.
You can't turn back.
Okay, ruined it. You had me for a while there, movie, but you don't get to turn your main character into a stupid-looking lamprey and get away with it. But hey, good work at covering up your camera's silhouette while the dancers stare right into the lens. I'd call that a perfect take. Now it's time to get to the vampire portion of the movie.
Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's hot bod contest.
Maybe they're vampire butts? I know these guys are excited for some hot bods. Hey, big boy. And as a bonus treat, we get to see the entirety of their hot bod contest. What? That lady didn't show off her butt. Disqualified. At last we begin our chilling tale, starting with a guy threatening a woman at gunpoint to get into his car. Sure, that seems like the easiest way to get in. Luckily for those dedicated butt showers, a man in the audience offered them cash to have sex with him. That seems pretty discreet for a couple of hookers. I'm sure he'll never get caught.
We take traveler's checks and credit cards.
Do most hookers accept credit cards? They better give him a receipt. That shit's tax deductible. In case you were thinking there weren't enough boobs and butts so far, the hooker sex is interspersed with a shower scene. Yo dog, heard you like boobs, so we put boobs in your boobs. Heh, that sounded like a fart.
See that? It's only room service. They probably want to give us some towels.
Well, I guess I'll just walk to the door like this. Oh no, it wasn't room service. Now I'm embarrassed.
You came here for a piece of ass, didn't you, pal? Now you're gonna lose yours.
Hey, I'm out of here.
Oh, I'm just mad enough to hold my knife at you. This is Hans Geiger, aka Fancy Pants McWineshees. He used to be the pimp for these two women. So I guess if you explicitly pick up two prostitutes on stage in a busy club, you really only have to worry about getting caught by other criminals.
I suppose that's why you left with no word, no goodbye, and owing so much money.
Oh, how I wish I was Orson Welles. Now let me just step into the red stage area of the hotel room. Ah, the French cutting technique has always been celebrated for its excellence. Ah, fuck it, I'm just going to kill you.
Please don't hurt me.
Hey, this is Vampire Cop, not Subspecies. Well, at least I was told this was Vampire Cop. So far all Vampire Cop has done is show us his sweet shoes. Speaking of things we forgot about, that guy from earlier still has that woman at gunpoint. He starts getting rough when Vampire Cop shows up. We've got one shot of him standing in silhouette, and damn it, we're gonna use it. Oh, whoa! He's got vampire teeth? I couldn't even tell! You know how when you have braces, you have that embarrassing puffy lip going on in all your pictures that everyone knows you have braces even when your mouth is closed? Yeah, I don't know why that came to mind. I love how at the end he's just like, whoop, scene's over.
Looks like our party boys are here. Now if my fucking buddy would get here.
This is Vampire Cop's partner, day before retirement cop. He's his fucking buddy. They've got an undercover guy trying to solicit drugs from Geiger, and he doesn't even really bother to ask about the goods, which strikes me as a bit odd since that would help them convict him. Hans is suspicious, so we ask the guy to remove his shirt.
These undercover detectives sometimes use listening devices on their chest.
Okay, it's called a wire, dude. You don't have to fancy everything up. Yes, and perhaps I will call my associate on his talking device, and he will listen with his hearing apparatus. If he's supposed to be wearing a wire, why doesn't Mustache Cop notice when things start to go south? And if he doesn't have a wire, why wouldn't he just take his shirt off? Does he have it in his contract that he won't do topless scenes? Good sting there, partner cop. Maybe you shouldn't have set the guy up with a wire that doesn't connect anything. Wait, so as the bad guys got in their car and drove away, Buddy Cop turned the car around, got out, and got back in to chase after them? This doesn't strike me as particularly effective as far as chase methods go.
We'll get him. You stay with the car. I'm going in on my own.
You know when they put on exaggeratedly stupid voices in cartoons to establish that a character is dumb? Yeah, that's Vampire Cop all the time. I'm not sure how much of this can be credited to Ed Cannon's acting or being cursed with an unfortunate tone of voice. The acting doesn't help though. But don't worry, I'm sure they cast him because of his expansive resume. And by that, I mean this is the only thing he ever acted in. The face of a man in total confusion. I'm pretty sure he took this role with the promise of boobs and a bag of Doritos. That is one slice of beefcake, let me tell you. Quick, give him no direction and a comically tiny gun.
Good evening, officer.
Wow, he didn't even shoot the car? How the hell could he miss that? Though, to be fair, bats can't shoot very well either. This is followed by a poorly filmed gunfight. There's random zoom-ins, awkward pacing, and it seems like some shots are forgotten. I mean, they shoot at Vampire Cop and then cut to him already lying down with no bullet wounds. Even if he's super healed with his vampire powers, he'd still have a hole in his shirt. Guess that wasn't in the budget. But oh no, Chuck Norris Cop is dead! Of all the curveballs they could have thrown us, this wasn't one of them. How could Vampire Cop let this happen? He was his fucking buddy, man! And Vampire Cop is watching himself eat that guy, I don't know. Say, we haven't had nudity in 10 minutes, and that's like hours in Vampire Cop time. This could have been an abandoned script for a witchcraft sequel. Anyway, Vampire Cop picks up the remaining hooker chick. Oh yeah, sexy watch time. Then, whoa, dude, what the hell? You killed her? I mean, yeah, she's a criminal technically, but let the punishment fit the crime, yeesh. Also, really? Your partner just dies and the first thing you do is go have sex with a prostitute? You know the guys at the station are gonna wonder why you took so long to report this. I'm not sure I'm in Vampire Cop's circle here. I mean, so far the body count is pretty even between him and Geiger Fancy Pants.
John!
Crap!
Lisa, don't do that.
So, yeah. I don't know who this guy is, and neither does the movie. He suggests that this woman and her friend have a threesome with him. I'm not sure about his real sexual orientation, but I will say that there seems to be some serious denial going on here. I don't know why they threw that scene in there, it just cuts to something else. Fuck it, who needs a straightforward narrative? Geiger is watching a report on the people Vampire Cop murdered, and it turns out the blonde woman from earlier is a newswoman.
Perhaps it was an animal.
Yes, some sort of man-animal. A manimal. That's it! Get me Simon McCorkindale. Using his deductive reasoning, he figures that Vampire Cop probably had something to do with this. Which should have been obvious, since he was the only one left alive and he was deflecting bullets and stuff. That probably could have clued him in. This guy's voice is great, though. It's like everything has some wonderful, ponderous meaning. I want to hear him order some Taco Bell or something. Yes, I'll have the crunchy gordito and perhaps wash it down with a nice, cool glass of Coca-Cola. I'll put them all into my eating mechanism.
Are you the lady on TV?
Well, that's my job. What's your name?
Tracy?
Tracy, I'm Melanie. What can I do for you?
It's about the attack last night. The boy that was killed?
Yes?
I saw it happen.
I'm not sure what's more weird here. The fact that this girl thinks a reporter is like a policewoman, or that Melanie acts like this is a perfectly normal thing to do. As little orphan Annie here describes her attack, we're treated to flashbacks of things we've already seen, as described by someone who clearly hasn't shot those scenes yet. Yeah, that sure looks like an alley there.
He just bit the boy's neck, and the boy died.
Did he have any unusual features? A beard, marks, tattoos? Come on, Tracy, try and remember.
It was nothing like that.
I can't blame her, the lead is pretty generic. I'm struggling to remember what he looks like myself. He was a guy with hair? I'm fairly certain he had that.
Tracy, would you like to stay here with me for a few days? Would that be all right?
All right.
Okay, I will.
Melanie O'Neill here turns up at our hero's place in the next scene to question him about the murders.
Who the hell are you?
And where the hell are you? Did they even test this movie before they released it?
Miss Roberts, I don't advertise where I live. How did you find my apartment?
Well, actually, I followed you from the station this morning. You left the precinct just before sunrise, and you've been here ever since. Quite a little night owl, aren't we?
Haha, I followed you from your workplace and illegally entered your home. I've got you wrapped around my little finger. She says she wants to take him and a camera crew back to the scene of the crime to retrace his footsteps for a follow-up story. Because, you know, the police wouldn't be investigating this. They do realize reporters are not detectives, right?
Don't you want to know just a little bit more about who did this?
Hey, you're right. I'll do my job and you can go to jail.
But whatever you TV people think, the best way to get him is not with a barrage of publicity that's going to tip off every move we make.
So what is this? Are you talking about a news blackout?
Yes, as a reporter, you have the right to interfere with and mess up a police investigation. This is followed by her asking him for a lunch date. Naturally.
How about dinner around 9? I just can't go out right now, okay?
What's wrong? You allergic to a little sunlight?
What the hell was that? What was what? That weird music sting when I asked you if you were allergic to sunlight. There I was again! What? Vampire Cop. Guest starring Vampire Cop's deodorant. Melanie brings a doctor onto her show who insists that the attacks on the murder victims were made by bats.
Do you have a question for our guest?
Doc, I was watching this thing on cable last night about vampire playgirls. You think that's what this whole thing is? A case of bimbos and bangs?
That's enough. I didn't come here to be ridiculed.
I'd stake my reputation on this theory. Oh no, one sentence of resistance. My confidence has instantly crumbled.
We got 20 minutes to kill here. You can't just walk off camera.
I got some ideas about this case of my own, and I gotta check him out before the evening news.
Melanie, you're fired.
When Geiger found out that we were trying to leave, he came over to try and change our minds. Don't you know how to do mouth-to-mouth or CPR or something?
Hey, CPR and sexy sax music? Everything is coming up, Vampire Cop. Don't curse his stupidity and genericiness. That just pladdens my chair.
We have just a little bit of fun first.
Really, Vampire Cop? Really? You're not just stupid, you're monumentally dumb. And look, movie, if you want to be a porn, just be a porn. There is no audience for this. Except me, apparently. I don't know, maybe there's some poor teenager who rented this in the 90s and has since become a terribly confused adult. Aw, no, don't do that, movie.
Get away from me!
Oop, there's one of those bulletproof shirts again. So, here's a question. Do his back teeth just disappear when he goes into vampire face? I guess he doesn't really need them for sucking blood, but he looks doofy as hell.
Hey, baby, give me your purse.
Please and thank you.
Let her go.
Caveman vampire! Let her go. Me like boobs. Whoa, he went from being in silhouette in the middle of nowhere to being on a perfectly lit staircase.
You've got 5 seconds to let her go.
Well, I guess that was 5 seconds. I don't know, I can't count.
Did you see the look on those guys' faces before they ran off? They looked as though they'd seen a ghost.
Maybe I need to shave.
I guess I'm a really hairy ghost.
Maybe you'd like to come back to my place and I could fix you something.
What about your producer?
Oh, come on. How did he even know about her producer at this point? They've only talked once. And what? That girl survived? You're getting sloppy with your murders, vampire cop. Oh, and awesome. They showed us a flashback, so it's obvious they put the bite marks on the wrong side of her neck.
What is it that you do?
Well, sometimes I like to.
Me too.
Oh, showed the other bed and revealed that it's a hotel room. Illusion broken movie. Melanie gets a call from Geiger so he can fancy pants around while she shows her boobs.
I believe that your program would be an excellent forum for me to present my side of the story.
Can you be at the studio this afternoon?
There's the small problem of a police warrant for my arrest. However, there is a place we could meet, if you guarantee to come alone.
That's not a problem.
Well, seems legit. He does have that naturally inviting voice.
Hans Geiger warns that any more police harassment will bring about immediate lawsuit, which he predicts will cost the city a major loss of tax dollars.
Wait, it really wasn't a trap? Touché, vampire cop. Oh, I see. This guy was just in the movie to get killed by these two, who are now vampires. So, let me get this straight. Vampire cop only kills criminals, but in the process, he also turns them into vampires? Isn't that like the last people you want to be immortal? And when you think about it, vampire cop, you're really just making your job harder. Anyway, Geiger is waxing philosophical about how coolsies it would be to have an army of vampires and rule the world.
Think of it. The ultimate power.
Yeah, think of all the stupid possibilities.
Looks like we've got company.
Oh, shit.
It's pretty sweet being a vampire. You suddenly become a huge weenie with annoying reporter tag-alongs. See this guy? He's more badass than vampire cop. And he looks like he got beat up every day of lackey school.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've got a friend staying with me.
Yeah, she was actually sitting in the room the whole time we were having sex. I was surprised he didn't notice. I guess the movie just remembered the plot point it set up ages ago of this woman staying at Melanie's place. Also, vampire cop can feel bad because she recognizes him. And we never see her again. Character arc complete! VC gives Melanie the lowdown on the vampire situation, which she seems to take pretty well considering she knows he's murdered several people.
I want you to know I would never hurt you or Tracy.
I only kill people who have done something wrong, like have sex for money, or look at me the wrong way, or have red hair. He gives a bit of his backstory, tells her about wandering around for 100 years from city to city, but this just opens up more questions for me. If he'd been bitten as a cop, I'd understand, but how did he get his position if he's over 100 years old? He wouldn't have a proper identity. Sure, he could create a fake birth certificate, get a new license, whatever, but this is the police. They do check into these things. Someone's wandering around in Day for Night, which are really just shots they used earlier, but tinted blue. I thought it was Vampire Cop then, but since he's with her, that means someone else was following Melanie around earlier and being a doofy creeper.
I'm gonna find him. This is gonna end tonight.
I'm coming with you.
You know it's too dangerous.
You owe me this story.
But Melanie.
No arguments. Let's go.
Did they really just do all of that in voiceover? Really? And wait, those two were the ones creeping around Melanie's house earlier in the movie? Why would they be following her around at that point? She wasn't even involved in the plot yet outside of reporting on some dead bodies. I'm trying to figure out Hans Fancy Pants' plan here. He says he's going to let Melanie and Vampire Cop go as soon as the sun rises, I guess to prove that Vampire Cop is a cop. And also a vampire. But, it's gonna be kinda hard to have that vampire army if you kill your vampire. I guess he has those two women that Vampire Cop turned, but he kinda treated them like shit. I'm not sure he's thinking his options through here. Now that the sun has become less blue, Vampire Cop suddenly remembers he's got that immortality thing going on. Apparently, this surprises Geiger, despite that being the whole point of this exercise. So your plan was no plan, huh? Interesting approach. What follows is the most slow motion I've ever seen in a movie's climax. Hans Fancy Pants turns into the fanciest vampire of them all.
Where is he?
Oh, he was right in front of you, the last place you'd expect to look. So yeah, the climax of Vampire Cop is two goofy-looking lame-asses fighting in a brightly lit living room. It would be truthful to say it's less than overwhelming. It's not really a fight, it's a lot of moaning mostly. Melanie kills him, thus making Vampire Cop one of the lamest bloodsuckers in movie history. And I've seen Vampire in Brooklyn. I'm serious. She just opens the door. Vampire Cop did jack shit here. And really, this speaks volumes for the effectiveness of the vampires in this when a propped open door is the ultimate weapon. Okay, just stop it. Just stop. Running outside will cure me. Oh shit, it didn't. Oh my gosh, this is taking forever. It's like the movie just broke. And Vampire Cop himself has apparently just disappeared from the movie. In a shocking twist ending, it turns out that Melanie is a vampire now. Good going, Vampire Cop, you piece of shit. The ending's like the vampire version of The Howling, except it's stupid. And wait, was this when he bit her? Because they only showed that at the beginning of the movie. Alright, here's the bad news. The movie sucks. But is it entertaining? Sort of. The plot's pretty flimsy and mostly centered around how many boobs they can fit in, and the acting's about as shaky as it comes. It's fairly obvious that they didn't set out to make much here, and in that respect the film was successful. However, the ending is really funny, the execution's pretty terrible, and it's an all-around enjoyably bad film. Check it out if you can find it. Next time, let's move on from vampires to a different kind of movie monster. My favorite kind. I think you know where this is going.
Silver bullet. The last glimmering hope.
Castaway miracle.
I've been dead for weeks. Yeah.
You gonna eat that Vampire Cop over there?